Thanks for tuning in. This is FatFest, presented by AML Media. Hosted by Gene and Stephen Labordi.
Welcome, what's up everybody, to another awesome fun episode of FatFest. Where we talk about all sorts of food, we do fun games sometimes. Today, we're taking it back, give you some nostalgia. It's getting cold out, and what do I think when it's getting cold? Yummy ass soups.
Soup season.
It's soup season. We're actually getting a nice fall this year. Halloween just ended, and like Labor Day is for pools, Halloween to me is like the kickoff of all sorts of soups, stews, bisques if you want to get fancy, all the liquid, yummy, hot.
I can't think of a single bisque I've ever had.
Never had lobster bisque?
No.
It doesn't even taste really like lobster or anything.
Is there any bisques that aren't seafood bisques?
I don't know. I think there probably are, for that to be the word. I know bisque is a category of soups. I'm sure there are
I
other
feel like
ones.
if there was like a sausage bisque, I would have had that by now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll have to look. Rachel, maybe look that up. That'll be.
But you can finish your intro.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about soups here, and usually we do back and forth pick soups, but just like a soup itself, we're going to be kind of just talking off the cuff. Yeah, just what it reminds us of, some of our favorites.
Just an open forum.
Yeah, open forum, just like a soup is. A soup is, you can put anything in there, as much as you want, as little as you want. As long as it's hot and salty, shit's going to be good.
I made, the other day, I was hungry.
I am Gene Labordi, that's Stephen Labordi, and Rachel Labordi.
We always do a weird pair. I was hungry, it was around lunchtime, and I just didn't want what I had in the fridge. I just didn't want something I usually make.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened up the cabinet where I keep my soups and my pastas and my macs and cheeses, and I pulled out a good old-fashioned can of cream chicken soup.
Ooh.
Which is a great ingredient for cooking all kinds of stuff.
It really is.
But this is the first time in a long time that I just made a can of cream of chicken soup. I opted for the can of milk, not the can of water, but you can do either.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had, I'll give like an approximate of like 20 honey cheese doodles. And I crushed those up and put them in the soup.
Okay.
With a ton of pepper.
I was going to ask how many crackers did you crack in there, because you are a person who, you're always adding extra cheese.
Yeah, I can borderline ruin some stuff.
He has, yes, sometimes I'm like, that's too, and this isn't words that come out very frequently, but that's too much cheese.
Yeah, I go a little nuts. Not so much with the Parmesan cheese. I'm pretty fair-handed with that, but when there's like shredded cheddar or whatever, I always go too far.
The hard part about it is, I've learned, because I've ruined some things before, too much cheese in there, and there's not really going back to it once you're there. But shredded cheese doesn't look like a lot when you put it on there, but then when it melts, it really does. There's a lot more than you think there is.
And I also, the texture is where it's really, while I'm putting it in there, but yeah, you can overdo it.
And with the cheese, especially putting shredded cheese in the soup, like, it's got to stay hot as shit, because that cheese will congeal faster than the soup.
It's like putting ice cube in cools it down. But we grew up on adding cheese to stuff.
Yes.
That wasn't an idea I just came up with. Our mom, we put cheese in almost everything.
My mom will force Parmesan cheese on.
Yeah, dude, how many soups especially, but any kind of pasta dish, anything you can use Parmesan cheese on.
And some things you would think that there doesn't need Parmesan cheese.
That's my point. And like if you did that in front of your new girlfriend's parents or something, they make like, a rack of ribs and like some kind of side dish. You're like, here's got any Parmesan cheese, and they're like, it's a rice pilaf.
There's no rules. I didn't see the side of the container saying what I can and can't put this on. But that was like a staple. Like in our house, like, you always have eggs, milk, cereal, Parmesan cheese in the top 5 in our house growing up. Of one of this, always having it. Like when it would get down to like even a third of it left, it's like, we got to get more Parmesan cheese. Because a third of it, for the 4 of us in the family, that was going to be gone by the time the meal was
way too much usage. But it is what it is. But I'll just say, the cream of chicken soup with the little cheese doodle action really hit the spot. It really hit the spot. So Don't be afraid to just make a good old-fashioned can of cream chicken.
No, because it is. That's one of those things we always keep in the house just as like, because you can just, a lot of cooking it calls for. A cream of celery sometimes can really spice something up. Because that celery, not a strong flavor, but really can change the flavor profile of things.
But we're doing soup tonight.
We're doing soup tonight. We're doing stuffed cabbage soup. Unstuffed cabbage soup, yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I'm excited to have some cabbage. I can't really think of a lot of ways to eat cabbage that's not in a soup. But I think I said to you like a week or two ago, I was like, man, I haven't had cabbage in forever.
And I'm not a big cabbage fan. Well, not how often do you just have cabbage? But in the soup, it's good because it gets so cooked that it becomes translucent and still holds its form, so it gives it good texture.
It's like a healthy noodle.
And yeah, it really fills you up.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Which is a thing about the soup. They say, I learned this a couple years ago, and a lot of other cultures healthier than Americans, they say eat soup for lunch is really good because it really fills you up. It's easy to digest.
I would think it'd be the opposite because it's not real filling.
I think soup's pretty filling to me. I mean, but anyway, they say that because it does fill you up and it's easy to digest, and it shouldn't, if you eat a whole ass hoagie, you're gonna be a little, heavy in the feet.
It goes through the system easily and cleanly. And listen, if I could have a soup, a piece of bread, and maybe a salad for lunch every day, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah,
I could eat soup every day.
And that's what some people, I know, like your dad, for instance. Like when we're on vacation, like to him, soup is not an entree. You know what I mean? Because we grew up especially when it's cold, at least once a week we would have soup just for dinner. Now it came with garlic bread and stuff too, but to me, soup is a perfectly awesome.
This is my theory as to why that's the way he sees it. He's Indonesian. It's a hotter, warmer climate. His culinary background, those folks don't eat a soup where we are Anglo-Saxon whiteys. We come from a colder climate. Our people like a warm stew.
Yeah, which is, I was just listening to something and they were talking, a guy, he went to China and he was talking about when he ate dog, and he said because obviously our Chinese food isn't what they actually eat. He's like, they just always have soup, and it's just because they just put a bone and all, they just hock up an animal, throw it into this salty water with whatever vegetables they have, because they're, poor nation and shit, whatever they can do.
They'll eat any
proteins and stuff. But he was like, the whole time I was there, you just basically eat some sort of soup with whatever protein and veggie and noodle they throw in.
So you don't see. To me, soup by itself isn't really a proper entree, though.
I have no
lunch, sure,
but for dinner, I mean, I have no problem. A hearty soup, you know what I mean, like.
Well, I'm just saying you need to have like a piece of bread.
I did say with a piece of bread and stuff for dinner for it to be a proper entree. But yeah, I have no problem with that because also the way I eat, I love taking, I'll take just a small bowl to start off with a little bit of bread, and then an hour later or so, that soup's still on there. The longer it cooks, the better it gets, and then having another bowl of it.
Yeah, I personally, I house soup till it's kind of like close to me burping it up. So I feel every nook and cranny. Now, I'm a huge fan of chili. I know it's not technically a soup, but we're going to include...
We'll put that in there.
We have to include that in the soup episode.
And you're a big chili guy.
Love chili, all kinds of different chili. Last time I went to a bar just to eat with a friend, I was like, give me the house chili. They had chicken tenders and burgers and wings and all this. I said, I want the chili.
If a place has, if they call it a house chili or, Big Bob's chili or something, whatever it is, I will always get at least a cup of it to try it, to see.
Here's the problem with this was at the Unionville Inn. Shout out Unionville Inn, they had great food. They put a bunch of jalapenos on the top of it.
Some people, yeah.
And it's like, that's peppers maybe, like a green pepper, but not jalapenos. But, you take them off. But,
well, some people, I think it's kind of like, I don't know, it's fronting maybe, or the same way as when people get the scalding hot wings. It's like, do you really, I like spicy, but I swear people get that just be like, I ate the spicy, or I got the hot, spiciest chili they got. It's like, well, that's cool. I enjoyed my meal.
Yeah, I think when I think chili, I don't think like that's supposed to burn your mouth.
No.
But I think some people do. But just on the soup season, I just want to make sure chili gets its due because it's a soup for this episode.
I agree. I would put that in there. And if you don't agree, come fight us about it.
See what happens.
Now, are you do you like beans in your chili?
Yes.
Okay.
100% every time. I don't really consider it.
You love beans because some people
hate
beans.
I know.
It is good. Chili is one of those things, in America anyway, like it is, it's all over the country, but it is done differently.
Yeah. And listen, if I go to like New Mexico and they don't have beans in their chili, I'm going to say, if it's good, I'll still give it the chili name. But, you know, where I come from, you have kidney beans in your chili.
And especially, it's another thing just about all soups, you can do them pretty cheaply. Like, for what you can get out of a soup, you can really do it, you know, inexpensively and fill everybody up and it be healthy. And because if you don't put beans in your chili, you're missing out. Because one, it's good, it has a profile, but it makes the soup twice as big. You know what I mean? Like
hence soup kitchens.
Yeah.
What you feed people that are hungry and destitute is you make soup.
You know, and you can take shitty ingredients, and that's one guy I watch, Jacques Pepin, famous French, but he always, every week, no matter the season, does a soup, and he does them usually on the weekend because he just takes over a lot of the leftovers. You know, this carrot's half, it doesn't look good. You cut that off, you put it in there.
Yeah, you can use subpar ingredients in a soup too.
Yeah.
And I love leftover soup.
Longer that's the one thing, like Mom would, you know, because she would make big vats of it. I mean, she used like the 20-quart thing to make it.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah. The more you make, it seems like the better it comes out. But that, you can freeze a fucking bag of soup, and it's like better than when it was, by the time you're done reheating it, it's like recooked and comes almost another flavor.
Yeah. And I'm a huge saltine guy. Like we're talking about saltines. Generic saltine crackers are okay, but the like name brand ones, they are way better. But yeah,
a saltine over a Ritz for a soup.
For a soup.
Okay, I agree as well.
Oyster crackers are really good, but my go-to is the saltine.
Yeah. Can you even buy oyster? I feel like I've never seen them in a grocery store.
Yeah, you can.
I do love when you get the oyster cracker over the saltines in a restaurant. It seems a little fancier to me.
It is.
I don't crunch them up. You had that little.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to with the oyster cracker, but that's supposed to be for like a chowder, like a clam chowder. I think.
I love a clam
chowder. Any kind of stale bread is good.
Yeah.
What are some other favorites? So
when I think soups, first thing that comes to mind obviously is a hearty chicken noodle soup. I really like it. Just when I don't feel good, if Rachel will make me a chicken soup I like the egg noodle in there. Really cook those veggies down. You gotta have celery in a soup like that. Celery is really a staple in soup, in a broth style soup to me.
Put celery in most soups.
Yeah, the carrots make sure they're super, super soft, and just that saltiness with the chicken nice and shredded up. It fills you up, not too heavy, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of soup.
No, I don't like chicken noodle soup. I mean,
a lot of people don't.
It doesn't taste bad, but I'm with Rachel's dad in that chicken noodle soup is not a meal.
Okay.
I like my first thought of a soup is a chicken corn chowder.
See, you always go creamy a lot of the time.
No, chicken corn chowder isn't creamy.
It's got a cream to it. It's white cream, I think. The one we make anyway is. And
okay. Either way,
it's not clam chowder creamy, but it's definitely got some.
Okay.
It's got some.
Either way, that's like my first thought is like.
It is banging.
It's really good. Or I love Italian wedding soup.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a pain in the ass to make.
An Italian wedding soup is you can do it so crappily. Like there's a huge difference, and obviously. Of just buying the frozen bag of meatballs and just slapping together a soup. But when our mom would make it, I mean, she put the heart and love into it. She would make the meatballs a day before, and it just
with
completely
those little
level
pasta balls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I
with the spinach in there too.
Yes, big part of that recipe for us. Definitely spinach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a chicken and rice is a great soup. I'm very anti pasta fazool. I think
that's the cold one.
No, that's a borscht. I'm thinking.
Pasta. Okay, yeah.
Just
that's
that
like
shitty Italian restaurant soup that they have. Usually, not a big fan of that. That's like a red soup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Minestrone is kind of the same, but I like a minestrone. That's good. The real red.
I like we were talking about this just like 2 days ago. Wonton soup is amazing. I couldn't even begin to tell you how to make that myself.
You gotta know how to make the wontons, and then I think it's easy from there.
Yeah.
But the one thing on that note, every continent, every cuisine has soup to it. There's a reason for that. I think it keeps people alive.
Yes. Yeah.
And
it's sustenance.
But and we never had it growing up just because there was tofu in it. We would have never thought to order it. But hot and sour soup at Chinese restaurants, it's like nothing else, and it's so fucking good. It's one of those tastes that are different, but I just can't stop eating it because it's a different.
I don't think I've ever had it, to be honest with you.
Have to try it one time. I think you'll like it because it's not spicy. It's got a tang to it.
Yeah, it's got the sour. Mm-hmm. But you also are a sour Skittle person.
It's crazy. It's Asian sour. Yeah, it's not a pucker up type of.
What about like a potato bacon chowder?
Can't go wrong. But the more and more, I think if they said just potato soup or bacon potato soup, I might just go bacon or just potato soup.
Just bacon.
Well, I'll take the bacon, please.
How could you?
I know.
Why would you opt out of the bacon option?
I don't know. It's just like I said the other day. Like I'm kind of getting over bacon a little bit. Which I know is crazy because when it's there, I eat it and I fucking.
A lot of it, I think, is the fake bacon flavor.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I am kind of like if you get like the not Campbell's or Progresso. Like if you get that bacon potato soup, it's like just a fake bacon. It's just a fake.
It's
smoky.
overused that flavor a little bit. Although,
but you're right. Actually, if I'm at a restaurant because they're putting real bacon there, someone makes it.
And I mean, yeah, you can do it without the bacon, but if it's an option.
I'll tell you what, little side story on potato soup. When I was in the hospital last, and it ended up being like just the timing of it, and not even having to do it, but I like didn't eat food for like 3 days because they weren't sure if I was going to have surgery or whatever. First thing I was able to eat, because I was on like a half liquid diet, was this potato soup. Mm-hmm. Now, it probably sucked ass, but I was so hungry, and the potato soup got there, dude. I was half chubbed up when I was eating that soup. It was so good. I was so hungry. I'm sure
it was actually like, you can't wait.
It probably was like, just out of a can, but it was so fucking good. Those chunks of potatoes, I was sucking on them like it was my last meal.
Yeah. What about a gumbo?
Love a gumbo.
Gumbo's really, really good. I love that sausage. I forget what it's called. It's like
Is that like
andouille?
And yeah, whatever that is.
Good grab by you. Yeah, that shit's really good. Filling. That's one of those things like I'll eat that for lunch and dinner.
And that's one I like a good little bit a spicy gumbo.
Well, yeah, it's got a tang to it.
So what's your what's your number one soup? Last soup you ever get to eat?
It's got to be chili.
Okay.
All right, that's not really a soup.
For you, I would, that's your chili guy, Chili Steve.
Yeah, I'm sure. Why not?
You probably should learn to make a really good chili.
I know, I could.
But you should do it like where you have like, and it could be something the way you cook the onions or something, but like a signature. Like I don't give my recipe to some. Yeah.
Yeah, like make it like a chipotle.
Mm-hmm. Just something in there that people. This is a little different. Like it's Steve's chili.
It's just cheese and crackers. What about you? Hold on, before you go, I want to lay claim to this. If it's not chili, when I think quintessential soup that I'm always in the mood for, it's French onion soup.
That's what I was gonna. I always, every restaurant that I go to, if they have a French onion, I'm probably ordering it. The fucking combo of it my most common order is probably a French onion soup and a Reuben, and those two back to back, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, any sandwich with a French onion, but it's the cheese is good, obviously, and you do have to use the right cheese, especially at a restaurant. But I just love those heavy caramelized onions. Yeah,
and actually, and it sounds a little crazy. Some places they give you the option for no croutons in it, no bread in there. And actually, I'll do that sometimes and get no bread in there. Yeah, because that it's so salty that so good. Just that and the onions on there.
But I'm not gonna opt out of it. That Rachel made squash soup.
Butternut squash soup.
Yeah, and that was different, but it was really good. I mean, I think I ate most of that.
That's like a change up because there's almost a little sweetness to it.
Yeah, ton of pepper. Again, all soups I put a ton of pepper.
Oh yeah.
In. What about you? What are your quintessentials?
See, Italian wedding soup's got to be up there.
You like a tortellini soup?
I do love a tortellini. I love a stewed tomato.
Stewed tomatoes are great.
Yeah.
That's you put a stewed tomato in chili, right?
Yeah, you can. I think
that would be
rotillo tomatoes, whatever that's called.
Okay.
But number one soup, I might have to go. The corn chowder's close, and also just a fucking hearty ass beef stew. A good beef stew with the potatoes in there.
That's gotta be cooked with love, though.
And cook real.
Because a bad beef stew is like the meat's dry. But yeah, with large hunks of potatoes.
Yeah, I want the large chunk style, the more home style, I think they'd call it.
But the biggest thing that makes or breaks beef stew is just you have to slow cook the meat. And
a tip to it: the one day I woke up, I was craving it, and I fucking went and bought the ingredients for it. You put flour. You cube up your beef, and you roll in flour, and then cook it. And it helps the soup get a thickerness to it, and helps cook the meat in a softer way. I don't know why or whatnot, but it came out really good. Yeah, because you bite into a cube of crappy beef and it's stringy and too hard.
People, I'm sure this is like a classic culinary technique, but it's a good way to use like a shittier cut of meat. But you still have to cook it as good as you can. It's got to be like, you can't just throw a bunch of
low and slow
chopped up steak or whatever in there. But I don't want to leave out, and I don't know how to categorize it, but it's definitely in my top 10 soups. Is the split pea soup.
Yes. Talk about a filling soup, though.
Yeah, and that gets nice and thick.
And I feel like that's something out there. There's a very good chance that people have never tried split pea soup.
Doesn't get a lot of love.
It doesn't have the greatest name for it. It doesn't have like a...
Well, that's what it is.
But it's good with the ham in there.
And I don't think it looks appetizing to me. It smells...
Well, we know what it is. But I think if you just look at a pot of... Because it does just look like a green glump, kind of.
Yeah, but it's pea soup.
But it's fucking delicious. If someone makes a good split pea soup, you gotta try it.
I'd marry a woman if she cooked me some split pea soup.
Soup is definitely something up there that it's easy to learn, hard to master.
Always delivers.
And you always, a wife should always know how to make some sort of soup.
I'll say, if she considers herself someone who cooks it all, you gotta have a couple soups in the
house. Yes, someone in the family should make a soup.
You make great soups. You have learned that split pea soup. That was the first time you ever attempted it. Came out awesome.
Yeah, that shit was good. Soups are one of those things. Like, once you get it in your mind that you want to make a soup, there's so many options out there. I'm not nuts about it, but I know our mom was really into the tortilla soup.
I love the tortilla
with
soup.
With the chicken and the Santa Fe flavors or whatever. It's good, but not my favorite.
I'll say it's hard, but I like a broth based soup is usually anything that's
broth to a creamy soup.
Yeah, I think so. Now that
I love them all, dude.
Yeah, I love them all. I love them all. But when I think soup, I do think broth. Just sipping on that broth a little bit while it cools down.
Yeah. See, I don't like you said, the chicken noodle soup. Get that out of here.
And I love with the bread, I love the dip. While it's cooling down, you dip the bread in there. So you're...
Yeah, I mean...
A bunch of butter on your bread. Yeah. I can't wait to eat this.
Anything that obvious that we're missing? Rachel?
Well, I prefer a thicker soup.
Hearty.
I
You're not a broth person either, really, right?
No, I'll eat it and I'll make it, but if I'm gonna choose like the soup I'm going out with, it's gonna be a creamy soup. But I really like a Thai coconut milk based soup.
That soup
I've never even had that.
yeah.
Sounds good.
It's good, dude.
I love coconut.
Because you use coconut milk in there and then citrus, and they balance each other out so good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, we'll do. You have to get the.
It's like refreshing.
Yeah,
also
like,
filling.
It's like that squash soup kind of in that.
It's lighter
change
than
up
that.
way.
Yeah, it's weird because it's creamy, but it's not thick.
You know what? It's good. It's a good like palate cleanser. Like it almost like if you had that in like a couple spoonfuls in between plates, kind of. It's like. And it almost helps because it's got the citrus in there. It almost helps you feel like you're digesting a little bit.
That sounds
we'll make
good.
that one.
What
time.
else you got?
If I'm gonna do a broth-based soup, I like veggies with wild rice. I like wild rice.
Rice is good in a soup.
So, would you say, depending on soup, are you more of a rice in soup or a noodle in soup?
Rice.
I'm more of a rice.
Especially if it's broth based.
Yeah.
I want rice.
Tomato soup with rice in there, so simple. Fucking
See,
banging.
I don't really want much. If it's like a puree soup like that, I feel like I'd rather just like dip a piece of bread in.
Because it doesn't
or
really.
Put a cracker in.
When you put the rice in there, it only is soup for a little bit until it just absorbs all the rice.
Sure.
But either way, I could go either way with that.
That's a good college meal. You can do that for 55 cents.
I'll be honest though, for myself, I never am like, let me make a can of tomato soup with a sandwich or whatever.
We just had the other day.
But
Grilled cheese and tomato soup.
That's like soul food though. What is your thought personally, Rachel, on, I know you're vegan now, but chicken noodle soup, do you think it's like...
I like it as like if you're sick.
Okay.
Like it's a good, easy to digest if you're sick, but I would much rather eat like the creamy chicken with dumplings.
That's a soup I didn't point out that I was going to say. Chicken and dumpling soup is so
I used to love that.
I'm not a big, it's good, but I'm not a big gnocchi or dumpling fan that much, really.
You're nuts.
I know.
Dumplings are fucking... Anywho, what else you got?
Last one, if I want to be fat, broccoli cheddar soup.
I was going to say,
that's a good one.
Every time we get Panera, broccoli cheddar soup.
But if I'm going broccoli cheddar soup, throw some potatoes in there. Why the hell not?
Potato soup isn't bad too.
Just a simple potato soup. Fucking.
Some leeks. Onions, you can put onion in any soup.
That's the thing. You can make a different soup every day of the year if you really wanted to. Just add a little bit more carrots, add a little bit more of this, less of that. Fuck, what's tarragon? Put in there. Let's see if it's good. Like,
yeah, I like tarragon. What about Rachel? Have you found a vegetable or a vegan chili that you actually liked?
Yeah, I do like a 3-bean
one that you make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, because every time I've had vegan chili, I've tried some of yours. I've had it before, and it's like it's not quite salsa, it's not quite chili, it's something else.
That one that I got, that was like a weird Mexican chili. Like it wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
The vegan chili.
Did you put the fake meat in there?
I've done it a couple different ways. I've made it with fake meat. I've made it with just like a bunch of beans. You can make it with crumbled tofu. I don't know if I'm just not that picky, but I've liked all the ones that I've made.
Well, that's the thing about it. So vegan, if you're vegan, soup is definitely like should be high priority up there because you can make a banging 3-bean soup, and you would never miss the meat in it, like because fucking beans are hearty and good.
No, my feelings on beans. But we used to have like vegetable soup all the time. Mm-hmm. It's all right. But you know, when I think soup, it's not a side. I want like a meal soup. Yeah. I want to eat 2 bowls of soup and be like, yeah.
And my move is, because I like leftovers. Call it trash, whatever it is. Some people don't.
I thought you were pretty anti-leftover.
No, from a restaurant, bringing leftovers home.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's why I like to do a late lunch kind of going out to eat, because I will get the bowl of soup and then just have a couple bites of my sandwich or whatever my entree is, because I'm filled from the soup, and then I go home, and I'll sometimes I'll pick something that will reheat good because I know I'm gonna get filled from that soup, and then I'm gonna have a nice.
I think it's definitely a bit of a violation though to take soup home with you.
No, I've never taken soup home with me.
And I had turtle soup once, and it was alright.
I had turtle soup. The turtle soup I had, I mean, it's chunks of meat in it were barely noticeable, but it was really spicy. It was good, but it like cleaned my sinuses out. Like it definitely was very.
I don't remember it being spicy.
The one restaurant around here is like known for their turtle soup.
Yeah. Oh well, it's soup season.
Soup season. I'm trying to think if there's. I think we did a good cover. That's the thing. There's billions of soups out there.
You can call a lot of things a soup. You know, I could go home and throw a bunch of stuff together that I have in my kitchen and call it a soup. It might even turn out pretty good.
I'll tell you what.
Hold on, I'm missing one obvious one. Top ramen, banging soup.
That is, and because some people make it, they want it just kind of noodle. I make it this soup version of it. You know what I mean?
I'll do, yeah.
I want a good amount of liquid in there because usually I house the noodles and then I got some broth with a little bit of leftover noodles to sip on.
Yeah, I haven't had it in a while. But for a while I was eating it a lot.
But I mean,
not because I had to, because I just like it.
Soup and rice. When I was like broke, when I was living in the house, I was pretty fucking broke, and just getting like Progresso soups and a big bag of rice. I lived off that.
You actually, with those Progresso soups, you can spend a lot of money on a can of soup. Is not enough soup.
Well, that's why you put it on rice.
I got you.
You know what I mean? They get the creamier soup and then just put, a shit ton of rice in there. But I mean, for a dinner, $3 basic, $3.
Yeah.
A filling wasn't always the best, a lot of sodium, but
my mental idea of what constitutes a dinner is like at least one extra serving. I think people grew up not in that fat mind frame. You know what I mean? So like a can of soup seems like, okay, I'll make a can of soup. I'm like,
So I have that mindset always bites me when we'd have like people over. Like I get food like everyone's gonna sit down and eat 3 meals.
Like a banquet.
Yeah, and then I'm like, please take leftovers. No one wants to take leftovers from a party usually.
It depends what it is.
Which I do. I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll make a plate to go home.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, soups, stews. I'm gonna look up to see if there are other bisques out there.
I looked, and so traditionally, it is a bisque is a smooth, creamy, highly seasoned soup of French origin, classically based on a strained broth of crustaceans.
Okay, because there is crab bisque, I've heard.
Yeah, but there is people make all kinds of spin-offs now, but traditionally it's with lobster, crab, shrimp, or crayfish.
I think I want to try like a sausage and spinach bisque.
I'll tell you what, because like I said this when we had the tomato soup, I was like, what is the difference between tomato soup and a bisque? Because
it's just a cooking technique.
Yeah,
usually.
But I mean they're pretty much the same texture. The lobster bisque I had was the same smoothness.
Knowing the French though, it's called a bisque because there's 12 sticks of butter in it.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. But yeah, when they say it's usually traditionally made with some form of crustacean, I'm out. I'm good on that.
Now, is there a soup that you've had or a soup that you will not have?
Red clam chowder.
Okay.
If I have to eat clam chowder, I can if it's regular white chowder. But if you give me red clam chowder, I don't even want to.
See, I liked clam chowder, and the only time I ever had it was out of a can. And then one time I had actual clam chowder, and I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time or effort on a canned clam chowder. Because a real clam chowder I had at a restaurant was so fucking... Now, the thing had 70 sticks of butter in there.
But it's fishier. You get a restaurant, anytime I've tried a restaurant, it's fishier.
It might have been. But yeah, it just like it made it look like why even ever eat it out of a can? It made it like I won't ever pick up clam chowder now.
Yeah, like I said, I'm such a fat ass even in this body. A can of soup is like if it's after like lunchtime, it's not. I'm not even gonna bother. I need more food than that.
But now, will you just would you just do endless soups and salad at Olive Garden?
With the breadsticks.
You get the bread. Yeah, I think you get the breadsticks with it.
It's endless soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Okay.
That's what. Yeah. Not for dinner. There's too many good options on that menu.
Yeah, because the second you see someone come out with a tour of Italy, you'd be like, damn it.
Yeah. Or
They do endless pasta bowls.
the manikai.
Now, how would you endless soup salad?
Pasta fazool.
Endless soup salad and breadsticks. How you doing that? You sitting down, you ordering a salad first?
Well, they kind of come out together, don't they?
Well, you get to this pick. You get to go like, hey, come.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the salad, and I'll probably go with just a house salad, like with the balsamic vinaigrette.
Not a Caesar, huh?
Nah,
I love Caesar.
Caesar's like dinner time, like before I eat like something heavy. I like the balsamic.
I am not a balsamic fan.
And then, bowl soup, breadsticks with the soup, and if everyone else is getting entrees, though, I'm not gonna be like, let me get another salad. Like I just get I gotta get something else.
I'll tell you what. You ever want to save a couple bucks for lunch if you're feeling that? I was pretty pleased with the was Eaton Park. They got the salad bar there, and they always have chili, and then they had the soup of the day. And when we went, it was potato soup,
Really?
and it's pretty fucking cheap. I think it's like $6 or something like that.
Do they have sour cream for the chili?
I don't know, but they definitely had cheese. I don't know if they had sour cream.
Yeah, and it's a salad, like it's a big bar.
It's a good salad
There was a
bar.
bunch of different things on it.
You have
very
to
likely might have been sour cream.
you have to really scope out the community and employees at a salad bar.
One person's job there is just the salad bar.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but now I felt I did the same. When I walked by it, I wasn't sure, and it looked it was a lot of old people that do it.
Good.
They'll sit there for like 3 hours.
I think you meant that work there.
A lot of old people work there too.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I want. I want some 60.
But no, for lunch, I'll tell you what.
I'd never step foot in the Eaton Park. I might have to.
It's and you can get real filled up because they had the chili. That's what made me think of you. I was like, you could do this just for lunch.
I'm old enough to remember when Wendy's had a fucking salad
The
bar.
Fixins bar.
I think it was a salad bar.
Was it? I know the one Turnpike, the Roy Rogers has a Fixins bar. You can put your own pickles and shit on there.
That doesn't count as a salad.
It's not a salad, but that's why it's a
Fixins bar.
Fixins bar. Yeah.
I mean, most people on this planet have never been in a Roy Rogers.
No.
But we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's soups. If we're missing anything, if you have a recipe, throw it at us, please.
Yeah.
I hope Nate watches these because he's a good cook, and I'd like him to be like, if you haven't had that, check this out.
Or even better,
Come here. When he comes in, I'll show him that episode when he gets in here. I will pay for him to do those tacos he did.
There must be some good tacos.
They were so fucking good.
Shout out, Nate.
Shout out,
work,
Nate.
buddy.
Nate Eats World, and good job coaching or whatever. But yeah, it's been FatFest soups. I think we named them all pretty much. It's hard. That would be a good competition, just back and forth. Just keep naming soups until you can't. That's the loser.
Yeah.
That could go for a long
Isn't
time.
that like a card game you can play?
Yeah,
Something
there's tons of
keep
games like
saying-
that.
But
yeah.
I got to be honest with you, if I can't think of soups I haven't mentioned.
Yeah, well, the thing with that,
I
you could
forgot
cheat because you'd be like bean tomato soup and
I
shit like that.
forgot about like a creamy mushroom.
Oh yeah, but that's another cooking. That's like another ingredient in a lot of good stuff, like a green bean casserole.
Mm-hmm.
But cream of spinach, cream of broccoli, cream of mushroom are all excellent lunches. If you want something simple, I've actually had cream of spinach in a while. But
Mm-hmm. Good. That's like I said. You always keep those things around. We always talk about preparation for the end of the world. Always have some cans of soups around in your house.
you know what? They're really pretty impractical if you have to get out of your house, though.
True. But they can last a long time. And most of those soups, I've been at places in my life where I've just eaten straight out of a fucking soup can because
Anytime I crack a can of chili, I take like 2 or 3 spoonfuls. Of
What can of chili do you get?
Pour them out.
Okay.
Always.
And it's
There's
weird.
lots
They're
of
always in a
options.
weird place. The chili isn't with the soups. It's always in a
by
weird.
the mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's always
There's
in a
by the
weird.
mac and cheese, and there's like beef stew, canned beef stews and stuff, which actually pretty good. I don't.
The
get it.
one that comes in plastic thing. It's always where the like Chef Boyardee is. It's a real small one. That chili.
It's probably one now.
It might be.
Chili?
It's red.
Chili or?
It's chili.
Yeah, it's one now.
Well, there you go. Maybe we'll do a chili here soon. Do a nice hearty chili.
A football day Sunday is a chili. Like
we got it's 4 o'clock.
I didn't mean this Sunday necessarily.
Oh, if it's cold enough, maybe we'll do a chili.
It's supposed to be nice this weekend. This might be the last nice weekend we get.
Yeah. Within the last 2 years, discovered cornbread with with chili. So
some
we'll
people
make
some people put the cornbread in the bowl and put the chili like on top. Of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to.
Do you make a good? As I eat
yeah.
Oh, you should get your mom's cornbread recipe. Did you have that cornbread?
Yeah,
Where there's a shit ton of corn in it. She made it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That might be a little heavy.
That might be too much for with chili.
Cornbread is you can really ruin cornbread if you don't know what you're doing. Rachel makes like breads and shit. You made like
Maybe we can do a sourdough cornbread with my sourdough.
Let's just do a normal cornbread because we're gonna really want it and we'll be smelling it.
Steven's not allowed to eat my sourdough.
Yeah, he said it smells like toenails.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
I didn't smell it, but I didn't get up in there and whiff it. And you got a strong sniffer on you.
But the next episode we'll do a bread episode.
Damn, breads too and butters. All right, well, hey, we got some soup waiting for us. We got some fat festing to do. Love you, people. Thanks for watching. And what a great thing for the family. You know what? If you're a husband and you're in the dumps, you're in the doghouse, they say, wake up early on a cold Sunday and make some soup for the family. That'll get you right out of the doghouse, depending on what you did.
Depends on your wife. She might.
Yeah, fucking soup. I don't even like soup. And if you don't like soup, that's like someone saying I don't like music or I don't like dogs. Like,
it's not quite a violation. It's not like a music, but I get your point.
It's up there. All right, guys. It's been FatFest. You have been awesome. We're always awesome. Thank you so much.